Yeah, I know we're not doing this in the screen recorder format. I apologize, but I need to get this done. I need to be quick and get this done. That way I can upload it and then go straight into streaming Xenoverse 2. So format's going to be a little different today. Hope you guys understand. I'll still have the little red background thing like I've had in the past videos, but unfortunately I'm just going to do this one live action. Kind of like my X-Men 97 reviews, but I promise you, next week for the next episode, we will be back to the screen recorder format, okay? Okay, I need to get this one done quick, so we're just going to jump right in, straight into the plot. I hope you guys enjoy it. President James Collins delivers a press conference following the deadly Halloween gala the night before, and begins hallucinating his dead son Joseph and runs out of the room disoriented. Charlotte meets up with Price, where they discuss that the chandelier was tampered with, but it didn't fall on its own. He suggests revealing some of their findings to the media, but she refuses to protect her family. Price shows her concerning security footage from the Halloween party consisting of Joseph's ghost appearing and vanishing. However, she dismisses it and simply tells him to find the killer. James makes his way back to the executive residence and questions Henry if he's ever seen the ghost of his deceased brother. Charlotte intervenes and takes Henry away, concerned about her husband's mental state. In other words, the president's starting to go insane. Chucky's agent has continued to advance, and he is practically confined to Henry's bed. He murders the housekeeper cleaning Henry's room with bleach, but mourns that the thrill of killing is no longer there. He hides her corpse in the closet just as Henry comes back into his room to check on him. When he goes to get Chucky another blanket, Henry had a vision of Teddy's death and becomes scared that he's being haunted. Especially when apparently the eye that was shot out through his skull from when that happened, I forgot to point that out, blinks at him. Yeah, I would have ran out screaming too if that happened to me. Charlotte looks through his room, and Chucky attempts to stab her, but he is too slow, and she doesn't even notice him before leaving. James is in the Oval Office as he notices a pool of blood manifest on the floor, and he sees a vision of Samantha's death within it. He cowers in fear and hides his eyes, but finds upon opening them that the blood has disappeared. He goes into his bedroom and finds Charlotte already there and confides that he believes he's seen Joseph's ghost. She convinces him that his grief-stricken mind is playing games, and he must get a hold of himself for the sake of the family. Charlotte again meets up with Price, telling him that she needs to come clean because Henry and James are seeing ghosts. He reveals that he does not believe there is a killer, but rather a supernatural force in the White House, which he's correct about. At first, Charlotte thinks this is ridiculous, until they both witness a vision of Miss Fairchild's death on a nearby American flag. That night, Chucky is watching TV and sees a newscast about Tiffany's upcoming execution on death row. Only after he also sees, let me think, Dead Silence, Brahms the Boy, and Megan, and makes jokes at all three of them. The Megan joke especially was fucking hilarious. Anyway, getting back on topic. Sorry about that. He calls Tiffany, revealing his current predicament and that he's going to die. They confess their love for each other when he laments his inescapable fate. Tiffany gives him a pep talk and that he should be going down in history as the greatest serial killer of all time. She reminds him that he is in the White House and that he is primed to go out in a blaze of glory and take out as many of those fuckers as he can with him when he dies. They changed the line slightly in the actual episode, but in the marketing she says, take out as many of those fuckers as you can before you go. That night, while walking through the executive residence, James hears Joseph calling to him and follows the voice to Joseph's own room. Once inside, Joseph's ghost tries to warn his father as Chucky smashes a piggy bank into the back of his head, causing him to collapse to the ground. Chucky gouges out his eyes, killing him. Literally rips his eyes out. Yeah, a bit weird that Devon Sawa's character is killed only halfway through the season, when he was killed at the very first episode in Season 1 and towards the back end of Season 2. So now it's kind of in the middle. Makes me wonder when they're going to kill him next, if they bring him back for yet another role, and if this show gets a Season 4. So, yeah, that all happens in story number 1. Meanwhile, these are the little scenes that go in between all those. Meanwhile, Jake, Devin, and Lexi are trying to find a way back into the White House to get to Chucky. Lexi decides to reconnect with Grant as their way in, but he ignores her texts. Charlotte comes into Grant's room where he confides that he doesn't think Lexi was ever into him, and she was only interested because he's the president's son. Charlotte tries to comfort him, explaining that relationships require trust and Lexi broke his, and the right person will see him for who he really is. The next day, Grant meets with Lexi at his school, where she apologizes and tells him how she can relate to him, being the daughter of a politician and losing someone you love. They agree to start their relationship over, but before Lexi can warn him about Chucky, Hicks pulls Grant away to go to class. Yeah, has me suspicious that this guy might know something. Jake and Devin decide to go onto the dark web for a way to beat Chucky and come across Dr. Rosensite, who specializes in Damballa. In other words, they go to see the voodoo doctor that we just saw Chucky visit in one of the earlier episodes of the season. They drive to Florida, where they learn from the doctor that Chucky is dying permanently as a result of being tainted with Christian magic, because of the exorcism. Since they want to be sure that Chucky will never come back, Dr. Rosen explains that the only way they can pursue him into the spirit realm is by dying themselves. While driving home, Jake and Devin stop at a motel for the night, discussing their futures and furthering their relationship for the first time, having sex. Yeah, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, they have sex. The next day, while packing up, Jake suggests they go on a cross-country trip once Chucky is defeated, but Devin wants to go now as he's afraid of losing his boyfriend. However, Jake convinces Devin that they have a job to finish, and they drive back to meet up with Lexi again. And that's the episode. We do get 2 kills in this episode. We get the housekeeper that's poisoned with bleach. It's a fine kill, but it doesn't really do much. And James Collins, President Collins, who gets a really, really nice, brutal, gory death. Not as gory and amazingly violent as the one he had in Season 2, where he outright exploded, but still a pretty gruesome, awesome death. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for Chucky Season 3, Episode 5. It's definitely very plot-heavy. They're starting to set things up, and we only have 4 more episodes until the season ends. Man, oh man, do I wish that Chucky each season got more than 8 episodes. But, as it is, this is an awesome, kick-ass episode. Plain and simple. Awesome, kick-ass episode. It is great, it is gory, it is violent, and it furthers the story even more. Just like any good TV show is supposed to do, so. Yep, Chucky's back with a fucking vengeance, and he kicks ass in this episode. Love the Megan joke, love the furthering of the story, and we get to see Jake and Devin finally furthering their relationship a little bit. So, yeah, that's gonna about do it. Final word for this episode, 9 out of 10. Easy 9 out of 10. And if you have not seen it yet, you absolutely need to. Alright, I got a game to go stream now, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next week for the next episode, Panic Room. We cannot take it anymore. The time is going to go. Prepare to fight. We're ready for this. I really hope that I'm ready for this.